Welcome again to this second video on the how to conduct risk assessment. I hope you have seen my previous video, which was primarily on the introduction and what changes we have made. In video, we will quickly walk you through, first of all, how to access the system. I'm sure you all know about how to access UNFPA SIS. You first go to my UNFPA org. Now they have changed the application that you have to sign in with the Google. Once you sign in with the Google, it will ask you which account you want to use. I have multiple accounts. You use that account, which is your office account, and then it will give you a screen. I have already created SIS under myLinks. If you also have SIS under myLinks, you can go from myLinks application, but in case you don't have, you might have to use index. But I will go straight to SIS using the myLinks, which I have already created. It again ask me the OEM login ID, and now here I am in the SIS myRisk. Hello, in the last part we had come to the SIS, and now I will show you how to do the basic risk assessment in the new application. As always, you know, when you want to do the risk assessment, you have to go to myRisk. When you click myRisk, you get two options: risk assessment and risk response. The type of options you get depending upon what kind of role you're holding. If you are holding only a focal point role or head of the office role, you only get two options: risk assessment and risk response. But if you're holding another roles like member of a risk mitigation member of risk treatment working group, then you get different roles as well. So let me quickly go through the risk assessment. Once you go to risk assessment, you get this screen. This screen has not changed from the last year. What has changed is that now the assessment year is default to 2018. So before you conduct any assessment, you have to be sure that you're in the right year and also in the right department. I'm doing this as a testing in the testing environment, so I have created a department called Enterprise Risk Management. I'm working under that department with the test IDs. And this, if you press the down arrow button, you will see the assessment not complete, export to PDF, export to Excel. This menu has also not changed. The training material, as and when they will be available, will be uploaded in the same folder we used to have before. And to click that folder, if you click here, it will take you to the Google folder, and in the Google folder I have done some changes in terms of we have reorganized the folder. You will see for the 2016 assessment cycle, the folders are separate. For 17 risk response, folder is separate, and for all 2018 ERM cycle, you will see all the documents under 2018 ERM cycle. So let me go back to our original screen for doing assessment. Now let me give you one example. So first let me try and give you example of the vacancies and succession planning. When you come here, you see this screen has actually changed. What has changed? I'll focus on that first. There's a new column called causes. So causes has been added, and these causes are the same causes which you see in that 10 pages risk factor list. So the causes has been added. Justification has not changed. This button or this text box continue to be the same as it was before. What, as you already know, you can always drag and make these boxes bigger as and when you require to type something. The other new column in this screen is the last year report. Right now the last year report, it's showing NA because I am working on a dummy department which did not do assessment last year. But when you go into your department and when you want to conduct assessment, you will see that last year's score will be displayed here, that what was your last rating for this particular risk factor. Then there are two new buttons which is called impact and probability. As I said in my introduction video, now you don't have to assess the risk rating. What you have to assess is the impact and the probability. To assess impact and probability, you click the button there and you get 6 options there, 0 to 5. If that particular risk factor is not applicable to you, you select 0 impact and you also select 0 probability, then automatically assessment will become not applicable and then you can save. But in case you have certain impact and certain probability for that risk factor, then you select the impact, let's say is 2 and let's say probability is 4, then automatically system will assign a medium risk rating to this particular risk and then you save. So this is so simple, it's just the same, the only change is the justification, and then in the justification you have to add why you gave impact 2 and why you gave probability 4. I'm not going into the detail of the context. I mean to say that I'm not going to the detail of what is the meaning of 2 and what's the meaning of 4. For that we will have a separate guidance note which will give you some guidance in terms of when to give 2 and when to give 4 for all of these risk factor. The purpose of this navigation video is just to give you the navigation and how to enter. Now let me move to the fraud risk assessment side. In the fraud risk assessment side, there is no change than the last year except two. One is that here also we have added the causes table, so you can click the causes and you can select what cause is causing that risk to happen, and we have added a new column called focal point. So in the focal point area you can assign the focal point who will be responsible to mitigate that risk factor and then just save it. In terms of inherent risk, effectiveness and residual risk, it is same as last year. Inherent risk can be low or the high. If inherent risk is high and effectiveness is effectiveness can be effective or non-effective. If inherent risk is high and it is ineffective, system will not allow you to select a low risk rating. It will not allow you to save. It will give you an error that if your inherent risk is high and effectiveness is, and if it's not effective, then you cannot reduce the risk. It cannot be low. So in that case you have no option but to select the high risk. The other validation is, suppose your inherent risk is low and your effectiveness is effective, then you cannot select a high risk rating because it's already, if residual risk cannot be high than the inherent risk, and it will not let you select high, it will give you error, so you have to select low and to allow you to save. So this is a bit of validation for the inherent risk, effectiveness and the residual risk. With that, we have come to the end of this brief video on how to conduct assessment and what new features we have. In the next video I will talk briefly about how to request an additional risk.